Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome to that time of year. Yes, NHL 26 trailer has dropped. Once again, thank you to my friends at EA for allowing me to see the stuff in NHL 26 a little bit early. I'm very excited to get into watching this trailer. If you want to see the full uncut trailer itself, there will be a link in the description so you guys can go check it out. We're going to basically break it down and I'll show you guys, or maybe talk a little bit about some of the new things that we see in this trailer. I can't talk about anything that's not in this trailer, so don't even ask me anything that is not related to the trailer. But let's watch this and see what this trailer is like. Once again, check the description if you want to see the full trailer itself, or I'll also have it probably posted on my community tab about the trailer itself as well. So let's hop on in. All right. Obviously, we already know that Matthew Tkachuk is the cover athlete. Some cool highlights. Brady Tkachuk shown as well. You wonder why that is. Let me actually move my face down so you guys can see a little bit better. There you go. That's kind of a little bit cringe. He had like an EA, mouth guard. So. Some heel moves. What a surprise. That's kind of cool, the Ovechkin celebration thing. Damn, some PWHL highlights, love to see that as well. Wayne Hudson, even though he's overrated as hell. Oh, I like how they kind of intertwine the real life highlights and stuff like that into the actual game itself. Yeah, this stuff is the stuff I want to talk about the most. So, I'm excited to talk about that once we get to the end of this trailer. Seems like a pretty typical trailer. A lot of nice hype and stuff like that, but a lot of gameplay clips and probably some cinematics too. Damn, big save. Oh, love the Leafs getting hit right at the end of it. And yes, I've already seen this last part. Look at that deluxe edition cover. Look at that deluxe edition cover. Let me pause the video. But anyways, let's break down this full-on trailer. So basically, a lot of this is just gameplay. Obviously, it's not final because it's just still in development at this point in time. But a lot of stuff to break down here. So early on, we just get some gameplay. Obviously, you can see the new Boston Bruins jerseys are going to be in the game at lunch. Not a surprise on that, but still, they look really good in game. And also, I kind of like how they're in game because obviously I do throwback rosters, and these are very similar to the old Boston Bruins jerseys. So I really like that these are in game. So that's the first thing I noticed when watching this trailer, seeing that. Obviously, you get some like in real life stuff of Matthew Tkachuk as well, which is pretty sick. You got him scoring on the Flames, which is kind of funny as well, just because obviously playing for Calgary and all that a number of years ago. You get this pretty cool little transition here of him doing his celly, and then obviously it transitions into him and Brady as kids when they were both playing in like St. Louis minor league hockey, so that's pretty sick. And then obviously it transitions fully from that to them, obviously, when Matthew Tkachuk won the Stanley Cup and Brady's there for him. And then you see Brady on the screen, which obviously at the end of it, you saw that all three of those guys, even their dad, is going to be on the deluxe edition cover, which is pretty sick. So looking forward to having a Sens player on the cover of an NHL game. Obviously, there hasn't been one on the cover of an EA title, I don't think. But there has been obviously like Jason Spezza was on 2K8 and all that. So it's been a long time coming since an Auto Centers represented our team like that. So very, very happy with that. I was kind of expecting once Matthew Tkachuk was named the cover athlete that Brady would get on there too. And then I was figuring that they'd probably do something with Keith eventually too. But nice to see Keith on the cover as well, just because he's obviously that guy that retired 15 years ago, which is kind of crazy. It's been that long already. So you get more some in real life stuff. Seth Jones taking a shot. Obviously, you have to have some Stanley Cup Finals stuff. Edmonton and Florida, since that's been the battle the last 2 years. And not really a surprise, Stuart Skinner getting scored on, because that happens all the time. Then you get some other clips from some other teams like Tampa and Florida. So nice rivalry matchup right there. Nice big hit. because obviously the Kachuk brothers like to throw their weight around quite a bit. Now, this is the part I said is a little bit cringe. I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit strange having an EA Sports branded mouthguard, but obviously the mouthguard for Matthew Kachuk is kind of almost like his like kind of likeness in a way when you think about it, because he's always chewing on that mouthguard. Same with guys like Mitch Marner and all that, but there's that. You get a couple clips of some other teams and stuff like that, like Nathan McKinnon making some moves. He does almost still look like Mikko Rantanen in the screenshot or this brief part, but I do see that it's his game face, so never mind on that. But there is that going up against the LA Kings. Then you get some Leafs and Bruins, so some more kind of rivalry matchups, obviously from the playoffs. Some nice camera angles here and celebrations, as you typically get with EA games. And then, of course, you get some more real-life stuff, more Connor McDavid, of course, because obviously you're going to put Connor McDavid in a trailer. Now, what's kind of cool here is obviously it's showing like his skating speed and stuff like that. So, obviously this year, a big thing is obviously they're actually taking like... they're using some of the stuff from NHL Edge a bit into making players more similar to their real-life counterparts. I know that obviously there's still a lot of work to do to make it fully good and stuff like that, but obviously they're making players actually play more like themselves, which I think is a great thing. So looking forward to seeing how that works out as this game improves over the next few years. Aside from that, there is more stats you see here with like Alex Ovechkin taking a shot. You can see how fast his shot is on that chance. It was 85 miles an hour, so kind of cool on that. Because obviously NHL Edge is the best for all that stuff. And I kind of really like this transition here. So you see him scoring on the Islanders like he did in real life to break that record. And you get to see him dive. And then it transitions right into the real life clip, which is pretty sick if I'm being honest. And then you also have like Macklin Celebrini, another kind of rivalry matchup with the LA Kings. It'll be interesting to see if Celebrini has a game face, because I can't really tell on this, but I don't know if he does or not. Then you got obviously the old cover athlete in Quinn Hughes, him with all the other Vancouver Canucks, because they always have to put in the Canucks. Once again against Seattle too, some more rivalry stuff, but you got top speed of 23.93 miles per hour. All right. And we get some PWHL highlights, which is nice to throw that in because obviously the PWHL is continuing to grow as a sport. Awesome to see. Obviously not liking that it's Toronto scoring against Ottawa, but I will take it. So there is that. Then it transitions over to Lane Hudson. Obviously, Lane Hudson now has a game face in Game 2, which is also great to see for Habs fans. Obviously, I don't really care too much being a Sens fan myself, but obviously Habs fans will really like to see that. He already has a game face in his first full game, I guess, technically, because he was part of a roster update before. Because, yeah, I guess technically he didn't have a game face or even a player picture last year. I can't remember exactly. But then you have some more stats like Hellebuck's save percentage. Man, it's hard to skim through this. There you go. And then we also have more real-life highlights that transition right into the in-game stuff, which is pretty sick. Obviously, it's not a perfect replication, but it's pretty close. So I like to see that. Also, some more celebrations here. And it's kind of neat how it goes through Matthew Tkachuk to Brady Tkachuk and then over to Keith. Obviously, Keith has been, like I said, retired for 15 years, so probably a lot of people that are playing the game nowadays don't know who he is, but obviously got to throw Big Walt into there too. And then it transitions over to this stuff, which this is Be A Pro related. There's a lot of cool Be A Pro stuff coming. I obviously can't talk about every single thing, but yeah, Be A Pro is getting some love this year, and a lot of it has to do with the chapters and stuff like that. There's obviously, you could see some stuff with World Juniors and all that, which is pretty sick. You also have some more cutscene related stuff, which we'll get to here. Obviously, like the draft, getting a nice picture with the commissioner and stuff like that. It's kind of cool that they use the Utah Mammoth one as well, just so you can kind of see that the Mammoth logo is in-game this year right off the hop. So shout out to John Smith for going 4th overall. Of course, they had with the most generic-ass name, but you got some more stuff with World Juniors. You also got, obviously, the CHL stuff still. And then that transitions over to more in-game stuff. You have some more cool cutscenes here with John Smith making moves. First NHL game-related stuff as well. Yeah, there's a lot to like about the stuff that they added to Be A Pro this year. And that's all I'll say on that front, just because I don't know how much I can actually say about it. You have Mitch Marner on Vegas, the first look at him in Vegas. And of course, he's playing against Toronto at this time, so that's kind of funny. You also got friggin' Chance in the background, which is hilarious. So shout out to that. Mitch Marner scoring against the Leafs. I know Leaf fans are going to hate just everything about this game because they don't like Matthew Tkachuk. They probably don't like Brady Tkachuk. And then also the fact that they just showed Mitch Marner scoring on the Leafs. That's like, yeah, they wouldn't probably like that. You have Seider knocking down Buchnevich. So another kind of rivalry matchup from the past, at least. Another rivalry matchup, Philly in Pittsburgh. Kind of like all the rivalries they've been showing. I'm not too sure exactly why they're showing all of these rivalries, but definitely makes it a little bit more interesting. You have obviously Sidney Crosby saluting the fans. Some more sick moves, of course, as per usual. Looks nice and crisp. I like these cinematics. I don't know if they're actual in-game footage or not, but it still looks pretty sick. Some more nice quick off shots. Love to see that. And then you also have Ottawa versus Toronto, of course, which big shot block by somebody other than Chris Tanev is, yeah, that makes sense. And then this is probably my favorite part of the trailer right here. Brady Tkachuk just knocking down Matthew Knies. I know some people in my Discord won't very much like that, but obviously it's kind of funny just like being a Sens fan, and obviously having my captain on the cover is awesome. So there's that big hit there. And then we get through this quick rapid succession. You got Zach Werenski, it looks like, which is pretty cool. You got check my, what does it say? Check my game. Powered by superstar attributes. What else does it say? It goes by really quickly, this part. Superstar impact. What else we got here? Tendencies, does it say? I don't even know. Attributes. Superstar X factors. Interesting one there. And then there's also Ice Cube, Edge, of course, like I was just mentioning. A lot of those things are based on Edge, which is sick. And then it transitions over to this quick part. The full-on cover, obviously for the deluxe edition, I think this is actually pretty sick. I know some people probably won't like it because they don't like the Tkachuks, but I think this is pretty cool. Obviously having all three of them on that deluxe edition cover, which is there. And also the big thing that's pretty cool is, as you can see, the deluxe edition basically actually comes out 7 days earlier than December 12th, which means the game is out this year on September the 5th. So if you get deluxe edition September the 5th, so you will actually be able to play the game quite a bit earlier than last year, which is really great for me. Obviously, I could get a head start on my rosters and all that stuff. And then if you're getting just a normal version of the game September 12th, so it's coming around the same time as like NBA 2K and all that, which is great because that means they could shift their focus to like NHL 27 right away. So yeah, that's very, very exciting. Obviously, there's all the pre-order bonuses and stuff as well, which I honestly don't really care too much about because I don't play HUT myself. So that is, I think, probably all they show, right? Let's see, is there anything else? Nope, that's all they show. Okay, so yeah, it's basically a little bit of a breakdown on the trailer. I know there's other stuff I could get into. If there's anything you've seen in the trailer that you guys want me to talk about that I didn't talk about in this video, let me know. I could talk about it in the comments below. But if obviously there's stuff that's not shown in the trailer, like if you're asking about franchise mode and other stuff like that, I can't really talk about stuff like that right now, so yeah, basically ask me questions about what you've seen in the trailer. And once again, if you want to see the full trailer by itself, actually there will be a link in the description, and yeah, go check it out. And in that way you don't have to hear me talking over every single point and all that stuff. So let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.